Hello again. Today, we're going to look at a very, unique movie. Imagine, if you will, it's the end of the world. There are only 8 people left on the entire planet. And it's an Argentinian kids movie. I give you El Arca. Our movie opens with God and one of his angels walking among humanity, noting the sad state that it's fallen into. And while you might be thinking that a fat black guy with blonde hair and squinty eyes is a weird interpretation of God, at least it kind of goes along with the idea that God made man in his own image. He's got little bits of pretty much every ethnicity in there somewhere.
My medallion! Who stole my medallion? You heard of soulless evildoers?
Yeah, apparently man is so bad at this point that they'll pick the pockets of what are clearly heavenly beings walking around. They don't even acknowledge how weird it is that they're glowing, they just see them as marks to exploit. But God's faith in humanity isn't completely lost, thanks to Noah and his... family.
What do you mean your father got into debt again?
Just a minute, you're talking about my father. I won't allow you to talk that way.
Don't you dare mess with my husband.
Mo, that's all you know how to do is yell.
I am not yelling.
Yep, these are the ones that God has decided to spare when the Great Flood comes. And for some reason they all have different accents and hair colors despite all being Jewish. Anyway, God calls out Noah, where they conduct a little vaudeville routine.
Are you who I think you are?
Who do you think I am?
Who do you think I think you are?
I think you think that I think that you think I am who you think I am.
Because I would think that you'd think...
Get on with it!
Yes, get on with it!
He tells Noah to build an ark to preserve all animal life when the flood comes, and Noah goes on his way.
Now tell me, did my voice sound alright? I always think it's a little overprojected.
You just finished walking through a town where nobody recognized that freaking God was walking among them. You need to count yourself lucky that Noah even heard you in the first place. After ripping off Close Encounters of the Third Kind, a reference that I'm sure all 21st century children would laugh at, Noah begins working on the ark.
Noah, is there any way I can help you?
Someone needs to call on all the animals.
Call on all the animals?
He sends a flock of pigeons out to fetch 2 of every animal, but instead they decide to piss off and hang out at a bar. I don't know if I'm more confused by their throwing that into a kids movie, or that it even exists because there's nothing for her to even cover.
My dear friend, the Puma.
We are the messengers of the new world. Foolish old man.
What if the flood thing is for real?
What a dunce! He spelled dear D-E-A-R!
Honestly, guys, have you ever seen clouds like these? Or heard thunder like that?
Wait a second. Here comes some thunder.
Yeah, even the animals are blowing off the will of God too. Well, I guess that explains why God set out to kill all life on Earth instead of just striking man down. The animals are a bunch of disrespectful jerks too.
Look at this. It's Buddha's book. It has wonderful pictures.
Oh, right. There's also this weird subplot where God is in the process of writing the Bible, and he's unsure about how it'll hold up against these other spiritual texts.
When will ours be? And this one is in Chinese. It's got more than 800 pages. And just look at the cover.
Let's just ignore for the moment that this is taking place in the book of Genesis, and as such there's almost nothing to put into the Bible at this point of history. But if the idea is to wipe out all of humanity and their sinful nature and culture along with it, then why are you even bothering to compare the Bible with these other spiritual texts when the Bible will literally be the only thing left in existence?
We really need something to catch people's interest.
Word of the flood gets to this foppish lion named Zero.
Zero!
But he mistakes it for a singles cruise.
An ark to learn to love each other and multiply. Yeah! Woohoo!
Funny. He doesn't exactly strike me as the multiplying type.
I'll be back in a minute, darling.
So all the animals gather, and then the Lion King, no, not that one, tells them that the flood is going to come.
Well, I'm against it. I think this is no more than a trap to hunt all of us down.
Sorry, movie, but Disney already beat you to this punchline.
You will only survive by helping each other and following a strong leader.
Explain to me how none of my choices qualify as a partner for me on this trip.
Maybe a new beginning can also mean a new king.
Okay, bye then. I totally look forward to you not being the villain or doing any villainous things on this journey.
This is just unbelievable. All of my suggestions have been rejected.
There must be a good reason.
Of course there is. Would you like to hear them? Newbie. Big boobs, no brains. Bruma. Too thin, no brains. Niebla. Too hippie, too busty, and no brains.
Okay, I know this movie was made in Argentina and all, but I never would have thought that I would hear the words big boobs in a kid's movie. So yeah, Zero's bummed out by how none of the busty, brainless ladies he invited on the trip are coming with him. This was nipped in the bud by Kyrell, who you'd think Zero would want to take more advantage of considering her reputable junk in the trunk. But nope, she's the cute, brainy type who's naturally overlooked because men are terrified by brains. Because that's not sexist at all, is it? Noah finishes building the Ark in only a few days, and quite frankly, it makes the Titanic look phoned in.
My Ark has a section for animals, with 1,300 double cabins, plus 5 towers for the birds. In addition, on the upper levels, the section for humans. With its large fishing platform, and 4 cabins for our family, warehouse, service elevator. On this journey, we will create a caring community, without hatred or resentment, navigating in peace towards a new world where there will be no room for pain and suffering.
And from that community where there will be no pain or suffering, mankind will only revert back to its sinful ways once the waters recede. Wait.
Your Majesty, I'm sorry to distract you from important matters.
Whoa! Hang on a minute.
You from important matters.
Was she going down on Zero? And what's with the smoke down there?
She really was on top of old Smokey, huh?
Welcome, all you creatures of the Lord. Welcome to our humble Ark. We living beings must prove that we are able to create a just world. But we will only do this if we can learn to trust one another. This is why nothing would make me happier than for you to decide to board our Ark and come along with us on this amazing adventure in peace.
As a representative...
But the rule, we aren't allowed to speak to the humans.
So, if you're not supposed to speak to the humans, then why do you clearly have a seat reserved for man in the meetings that you guys apparently have? Anyway, the rain starts, and the animals begin to board.
What are you doing here? You're not going on this trip. You weren't chosen because you're boring and you're a busybody.
Well, guess what? I just ran some medical tests, and apparently of the two of us, I'm not the one who's barren. Choke on that, Laputa. But as luck would have it...
You don't even think of defending
Oh, my little pom-pom, are you alright?
I lost my balance. My feet are so tiny.
Well, there goes the sweet and tender future mother of my children.
There goes all hope for my species. Darn it. But don't worry, I'm sure he'll find something on the ship to bang out a quick one with. Not 2 minutes in, and this doe has already done the deed with a donkey. Apparently she's an ass girl. Oh yeah, there's also this wormy little deader guy and his wife who Noah sold his house to, and they somehow survive the entire movie. Why God doesn't just tie up this loose end and strike them down with a bolt of lightning is anyone's guess, but they eventually make it aboard the Ark too, posing as animals so they won't be noticed. But while that's going on, let's see how the other animals are coping with their struggle to survive.
The Dive is very proud to present our superstar performer, Pansy.
At first we were afraid, we were petrified, to think the world that we once knew was gone, and you're what's left to carry on. I want to take away your pain in a new world that's free from rain. I want to live. I wanna outlive you, dear, don't try to run. I wouldn't bother. If you come with me, I will be the one who leads you to the slaughter. Try to stop me if you can. I hope that you will understand that if I eat you, it's not bad, because it's all part of the plan. I want to live. I will survive. I won't let anybody say what I can eat to stay alive. My appetite is growing, and my teeth are very sharp.
God may work in mysterious ways, but at least he does know which animals were going to do the most breeding once the waters recede. Also, look at this. The carnivores are supposed to be cutting back on their usual meat intake for the sake of everyone surviving on this voyage. Panthy sings about how she's going to eat meat regardless, and all the other animals are totally fine with it. It's literally impossible to say no to those curves, no matter what species you belong to. Anyway, we see that tiger from before try to schmoo Zero, since, you know, he's not the villain or anything.
Zero, I'd like to invite you for a drink.
No, thank you. I'm with some old friends.
Old friends can always be traded in for newer friends, Zero.
Not in my case. For me, my friends are fundamental, a reason to live, a priceless asset.
Hi, handsome.
Hello yourself.
Why won't you come with us?
Well, if you'll give me another minute or two, I think I might. But Kyrell's getting sick of Zero's drinking and whoring and tells him to shape up for the sake of being a better king.
Is this your idea of a fair government? Trying to appeal to everyone?
I'm concerned about those I love, and you should do the same. A little fun never hurt anyone.
This is not just a pleasure trip. You should be a little worried by now. Isn't this rain telling you anything? I suppose now you'll understand that we all rely on your decisions. You are the king, the only survivor of your lineage. As far as showing concern about those I love, that's all I've done. That's all I've ever done.